Hello everybody and welcome to the inaugural recording of Emmaus College CPR training online. Today we're going to run through the CPR training that is a mandatory requirement of you for every 12 months. You'll note on your enrolment forms that you have to put down a code for the course. The code for today's session is HLT AID 001 for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Okay, let's get into it straight away. So the first thing that I'm going to be talking to you about is some of the legal responsibilities associated with providing care for somebody. A first aider should be aware that they need to comply with a few things. First thing that I'm going to talk about is duty of care. Now, duty of care is described as a legal duty that you have to a casualty that you might come across. If a relationship already exists, like say for example you're a first aid officer at your workplace, or like for example Vanessa or myself here at the college, we're the college nurses, we provide first aid. We have a duty of care to the students and the staff here to provide a certain level of care to the best of our ability. If you're just walking past somebody in the street or at a shopping centre or whatever, your duty of care is at the level of your qualification or ability. So say for example, you're just a general shopper, you have no first aid training, somebody collapses in the shopping centre, you don't feel comfortable or have the skills or ability to look after the person that's collapsed, you actually have no duty of care. But ethically, it would be a good thing to do at a bare minimum is to ring 000 and get help to that person as quickly as possible. With duty of care, there are legal protections for people offering assistance to casualties that if unfortunately something was to go wrong during the event, that you're not liable to be sued. And this all comes under an Act of Parliament called the Good Samaritan Act. So you are actually protected from the level of care that you provide from being sued. When you approach a casualty, if they are conscious or have family members with them, it's always a good thing to do is to ask for consent, asking their permission to actually enter into their space and offer care. So say for example a person has fallen over and injured themselves, you would go and you'd say, can I give you some help? Would it be all right if I helped you? If for example the person is unconscious and cannot reply to you, consent is implied. So they're not able to respond and say, yeah, sure, come and give me some help. It's implied that you would offer some assistance to the best of your ability and level of qualification. In terms of protecting yourself a little bit legally as well, it is always important to document the events that have occurred both pre, during and after an incident. If the person is conscious and they can tell you, I just walked 7 flights of stairs and now I have chest pain, and then they become unconscious and you have to start CPR, you would document that the person exerted themselves, that they became unconscious at this point of time, that you started CPR then, that you called an ambulance. You would document all these things just so that when help does arrive in the form of ambulance, that you are able to let them know a basic timeline of events of things that have happened. Important that when you are documenting that, it can be on a scrap of paper or a notepad, but that you write the date, the time, the basic sequence of events.